and welcome to the stream. My name is Jim, aka Satramula Beta, and I am going to be going to Minmus finally on this stream. Kerbal Career program. I have been trying to get missions for Minmus for a while now. I finally got them. I actually got a surface outpost mission, which is ideal because then I can land a research lab on the but it has to have a research lab and a viewing couple, of which whatever. But I can put a research lab up there and start getting lots of science. So I'm going to first though I have two other missions that I'm going to do in LKO that are pretty easy, and I'm going to get those done pretty quick because they're going to give me some extra money. First thing is I have to deploy a station in orbit, and I have to dock to craft. So I'm just going to go ahead and deploy this. I've built a station. It's on a slightly modified version of my Soyuz-style launch vehicle, and it's very basic. It doesn't have a lot on it. It's got some of the science stuff, but it doesn't have a lab or anything like that, because honestly, there's not a lot of value in having a lab in space around Kerbin, because you're just not getting enough science to make it worth it. You can do it, and you get some, but it's not worth it. Now, odds are I will probably get a mission later to expand this station, including adding a science module or a lab module, which in that case, if I'm getting paid to do it, I will go ahead and do that. And it's got room for expansion and stuff like that. So we're going to launch this. I also have a orbiter that I will use to take a crew up there and do the docking mission and then return the crew. One of the reasons I want to have this station, though, is actually it does have value once I go for some other stuff. I will be able to, technically, you can launch interplanetary missions directly, from Kerbin, but having a place where I can put a fuel depot in space will be useful, at least in theory. So we're launching. Oh, haha! I forgot to plug in my. Haha! Got to plug in audio for the game into my. I'm playing out through my speakers. Let's try that again. Hi, Snook. Yes, that's hello, Snookums. There we go. So we'll start our gravity turn a little late, but it's okay. I've got plenty of delta V, or I should have plenty of delta V to get into orbit. And we're aiming for about a 100-kilometer orbit on this. Because that will be a nice... plenty of hang time for circularizing with larger craft and things like that, especially the low thrust-to-weight ratio nuclear engines, if I have to use those. And we separate our boosters. Thrust-to-weight ratio is still good on this. It's a little wobbly because it's got a big bulbous space station at the front, but the staging on that get messed up. All right. Now I think this one will want to stage first. I did not actually run this scenario. I know it has enough delta V. I just don't know exactly when I will want to stage things. This is weird. Why is this kind of this light gray, hazy? Odd. Something goofed up on my graphical display? I'm not sure. Some kind of atmospheric thing? I don't know. I know they made some particle effects and atmospheric shader, but this doesn't seem normal. I don't know. Whoop. Probably did want to stage that second, but I was going to start to lose altitude there. So this second stage should get us the rest of the way into orbit, and also circularize. I'm going to go ahead and speed things up a little bit. Come on. I hate the SAS and time warp are not always your friend. So start turning a little bit more here. I just want to keep my time to apoapsis lower than that. I wanted to make sure I could get into orbit first. It's really weird. I don't know why it's got that hazy look to it. I didn't do anything. It's very odd. Oh well. I can deploy the solar panels. And in this case, the solar panels are actually retractable. Even though they're technically not, going to land or anything, I decided to make them retractable to make it easier to dock additional modules later. Thought that would be helpful. I'll be able to get them out of the way without just breaking them off. Which you can do. Technically, you can just send a Kerbal out there and have them smash into it and it'll break them off, but that's not particularly... I don't think that's ideal, technically. We're getting close to an orbit here. This does have one additional stage that should get us into help boost us into a higher orbit if necessary. There we go. And I'm going to set a maneuver node. Oh, that was weird. I don't know why it was like that, but as soon as we reset it, it went away. Set a maneuver node at the apoapsis to bring the periapsis up to even with that, and then we're very close to anyway. Basically almost as perfect a circular as possible. And yeah, there we go. And we'll go ahead and rotate to what I should do is ditch this stage. I could have done that better. I just realized I put it in a collision course with myself. All right, prograde. All right. But that will ditch that stage. And then there we go. Make a nice circular orbit. And then as soon as that's done, I'm going to go ahead and launch my crew in the later vehicle. Oh, I still have it set on prograde. It's going to fight me. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and launch my crew from the second vehicle, or the next vehicle. Which is a pretty basic craft. It doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. Doesn't need to, because really its only job is to go into orbit and meet this thing. And that actually will probably be for any possible interstellar mission. Oh, I way overshot there. For any possible interstellar missions, that would be my. If I need to send a crew up, that will probably be one of my crew vehicles because it's very relatively cheap to launch. If I need to get additional crew, it's also a good rescue, not a rescue craft, but a good, yeah, good craft for that sort of thing. So let's see. We'll point this down. And hopefully by the time this does have an HECS on it, probe core. Hopefully I'll if I get more missions to expand this, I'll be able to put a better probe core on there as well, to give it better functionality. But this is fine for now, and then we will let it get. I'll actually go ahead and warp it to. No, you know what? I'll go back to my space center. Did I get? Yes. Okay, cool. Go back to the Space Center, check in or collect the money for that launch. Yeah, got that. Equatorial Orbit and Minmus. I'm taking any Minmus missions I can get, because they are. I mean, it will just basically give me money for doing what I want to be doing anyway, so it's a good option. Let's see, LKO orbiter. Here we go. And you see, same launch craft, very basic, same basic thing. So this one's going to be a little lighter, or should theoretically be a little bit lighter. So it's well, it's actually, although it's not that much lighter, but it should still have a easy time getting to orbit. Now this one I am going to crew up. I don't need my fancy pants people from that. I just need really I don't even need a scientist because I'm not going to do any science stuff. So send a pilot and an engineer. Don't even need them technically, but you know, we need to send somebody up there. It'll be a, do a little mission. All right. And SAS, go ahead and turn SAS on. And I'm going to wait until the Station 1 is right about here. That seems to be a good... Oh, I messed up. Well, whatever. I'm going to launch from there anyway. Because I have enough delta V to make adjustments in my orbit if I need to. And I will be able to force an encounter. Executing gravity turn here. It was lighter, and my thrust to weight ratio is much better on this one than my other one. So we should get to orbit with almost no trouble. No trouble at all. There we go. Deploy or drop the boosters in the Korolev Cross. I'm sure it looked great from the ground. And we are set as target. And we just got to keep track of this. I want to be watching this as it approaches. The apoapsis approaches 100 kilometers. That way I can see about any encounters I might get. And we're going to be staging here in just a second. And we'll go ahead and double stage. Double stage, and then there we go. Ghost to weight ratio is still good. I know it's not that good actually. But I'm going half horizontal, so it's all right. And we'll go ahead and stage, get rid of the fairing. So that's not floating around in space. And we're just watching my apoapsis readout up here, and watching for any possible encounters if we get them. And the nice thing is, if we do this right, we can, I probably missed it a little by a hair, the encounter, but it's easy enough to force another encounter. We've got enough, plenty of fuel to do so. The one thing I wish I had was the Sepratrons. Alright, so I'm going to set my apoapsis at 94 kilometers because I actually want to do this. Should give me a... There we go. .4 kilometers. That's good for a initial target, and I've got plenty of delta V. Did I set these for... No, I didn't. Okay, so I need to deploy the solar panel. Oh, well, my burn is not going to be nearly enough. Not enough time to complete that burn. I didn't realize how far off it was. I would have been paid more attention. Now I'm just going to try and actually keep it from crashing. Gotta get that periapsis up. Guess I can just lock it on prograde. I actually bothered checking to see how well this thing would fly. I didn't do a test. I kind of just built it based on previous experience building craft like this. I goofed. Yeah, we're not even close. All right, we're going to revert back to launch. Because I messed up on that timing real bad. Let's see. Station 1. Set as target. I'm here. Do this right this time. About there. do part of this on fast mode. Get this done as quick as possible. And I'm just tapping the D key to edge over. Doing this gravity turn. Honestly, I could probably stand... Well, no, that doesn't really make sense. The nice thing about this design, though, is if I wanted to increase the overall delta V of the craft, it has a high enough thrust-to-weight ratio that I can include a little bit more fuel on the little boosters here without changing too much. And we're just watching our apoapsis. And our orbital velocity. And looks good. We're gonna have to do missions like this again, so I kind of want to yeah, kind of want to get this, figure out this thing correctly. What the most sense is. Should be seeing a encounter here anytime now. We're at 80,000 kilometers, or 80 kilometers, excuse me. This is just... The thing I hate about doing some of this stuff is it's just tedious, and especially because I do have to like trial and error a little bit, because even with the build tools, it still requires some trial and error, which, yeah, here we go. Actually not too far off as it is. Well, there we go. Oh man, it's another one where I'm going to have trouble actually making the encounter. Should have just kept burning. Wait, you know what? If I stage... Oh, damn it! Ugh! Hit the stage. I hit space twice. I shouldn't have. Let's try this one more time. This should be the easy part of this, and I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. And damn it, I messed up again. You know, while off stream, I ran a bunch of these missions without any real issue, and then suddenly, as soon as I actually try and do it for real, I mess up. Come on. There we go. Come on, just turn. That I can live with. That's one I can live with. My apoapsis is. Oh, I should have gotten rid of that before. Deploy the solar panel. See if we can get this a little closer. Make sure my periapsis doesn't drop too low. Take 1.8 kilometers. Oh, damn it. I hate these maneuver nodes. Mm. 1.1 kilometers. I'll take it. And this craft does not have a probe core on it, so it does actually have to have a pilot. But that's okay. Like, this is always going to be piloted. once I get a better probe core option, I will probably slap one on the top of it just to let me reduce the number of actual pilots I need to use, because pilots, to a certain point, are kind of useless other than providing direct control. So, you know, like on an interplanetary mission, it's nice to have a pilot, but because there's always the chance that you'll run out of you'll not have access to Kerbin. So let's see. So we're going to burn off our velocity to the target and then point towards it. Make everyone real nauseous on the craft. 0.3 kilometers. There we go. Oh, should have done EVA report. Oh well. And then we're going to quick burn here. To burn off relative velocity and then point towards it again. And one thing I want to make sure to do is I'm control from here, and we're going to close this so that it doesn't get in the way. And then we'll go ahead and point, and I want to make sure my camera is in locked mode. There we go. That way I know what my controls should be when I go for it. So alright, we'll burn off that last little bit of velocity. I'm actually now moving away from the target, but just barely. Now, the one thing I got to do is set. I can get it to look where I want. Yeah, here we go. And we want to set this as target. And reset camera. I'm actually pretty well going, but I'm going to control from here. What? Okay. Control from here. And point this towards the target to make it a little easier for myself. You know, I have the damn docking port. I thought I had the docking port thing installed, but I don't. I should get that, because I will be doing some more the docking port indicator, because that's really useful. And we're going to physics time warp. So I am damn close. Reduce my velocity just a little bit more. There we go. Dock 2 vessels. Nice. Okay, so we're going to well, first we'll light everything up because we're home now. Well, we'll go ahead and transfer crew to here. And there we go. We got a nice nice view from the cupola. So yeah, we're going to assume that they did some little science experiments or did some very basic crew stuff while we're up here, and then we're going to transfer crew back. We'll make a quick save. And I'm actually going to go ahead and transfer some fuel to the station because I've got way more fuel than I need. And then we will undock and switch back here, and then use the turn SAS on, and we'll move away from the station using our monopropellant, which we have plenty of. And then, yeah, we're set in orbit, and we will turn retrograde, and I'm going to see where that would bring us down. Where are we? Actually, I kind of want to don't want to land right quite there. That should ensure a splashdown. Okay, and then we will point really anyway we want that's away from the capsule, or away from there, and then my retrograde, and we'll hit it. I may actually not get a splashdown. We won't. Oh well. Technically, I think I can make some changes in where we go by rotating the capsule a little bit, but yeah, that was actually one of the things they did. You could steer the capsule by turning it, which, you know, basically whichever way the blunt end face, that's where it would go. It's coming in too slow, or this is going too slow. Yep, I can hear the rest of my orbiter breaking up. And was there a cheaper way to do this? Almost certainly. I could have just sent a unmanned vehicle up there, completed the docking mission, and called it a day. But I wanted to actually do, you know, something halfway realistic. Although I guess I think they did use tests first. Open parachutes. There we go. And now we just wait for it to land. So this is why I don't trust this. I set my deploy up a little higher because it never would have. It would hit the ground first because it ignores. It ignores any sort of terrain. I don't want EVA report. I want surface sample. And recover vessel. Now we've got to figure out how we're going to get to Minmus. That is, I was just able to pick up that mission. So while I was off stream, I did go ahead and do some rescue missions. That's why I have extra Kerbinauts here. And actually, I'm over my astronaut complex limit, which I can go ahead and just do that, upgrade that. Now I have to figure out what I really want to do is unlock some of these higher tech tier science stuff, but I can't yet. So what I think I'm going to do is actually I haven't got the mission to plant the flag. There. So what I think I'm going to do is actually send a lander. Just a very basic, Minmus lander with, lots of Delta V so I can hop around a little bit, but get some science data off Minmus, and then take off from there. So, I wish I had a better probe core, but I think the HECS will do the trick for a Minmus mission. It's a little bit less than I want, but it should do it. And then we're going to have a science or experiment storage unit. Actually, I think I'll put on top. And a science junior. Bunch of mystery goo. So I won't be able to get a science junior from everywhere, but I might be able to get multiple mystery goo things. It definitely needs a Kerbal Engineer computer, and then a thermometer. And a barometer on there. And we're going to need batteries. Plenty of batteries. And then some fuel tanks. No, that's not what I want. I guess this is not, yeah. Okay. Couple of fuel tanks here. Several sets of fuel tanks. And then a spark. And we need some landing struts. And I want to see how much delta V I've got for Minmus. Good thrust to weight ratio, plenty of delta V so far. We're going to need and antennas, though. So we use that, and then I'm going to want a high gain antenna for sending back science stuff. And I thought, for a second, I thought about doing a rover, but Minmus is so terrible for rovers, it just doesn't make sense. It's just the kind of like, I don't know, everything like it, they just want to roll over immediately. So I just don't want to do that. And then let's see here. No. Instead of using Oscar bees. I'm trying to keep this from being too damn tall, but I think we're just better off using a one of these and a spark underneath. And then we can put a couple side tanks on here. But this will give me a place to put my yeah, there we go. Make sure these struts. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. So yeah, we've got our antennas and some plenty of landing clearance. In fact, I'm going to move these up a little bit. And move these up a little bit. If I can get the game to cooperate with me. There we go. That looks pretty good. Plenty of delta V to make multiple takeoffs and landings. We can hit some various science biomes and make little hops. So yeah, and that will be, this should unlock a little bit more science, and then I can actually send a crewed mission next. So yeah, there we go. Now I just need my launch vehicle, which actually probably can get away with using that Soyuz style with an additional booster stage. So let's see, coupling. And then one of these. No, you know what? Give myself plenty of room for error. Put one of these and a Terrier engine. One of the higher efficiency engines in the game. And then make sure these are all auto strutted. That would be hybrid iron warp on auto strut. Okay, cool. So we got a nice little upper stage booster, which is plenty of delta V to get it wherever it needs to go. You know, one thing I do want to tack in here though is a command wheel. Or, yeah, RCS wheel or reaction wheel. Because we want to be able to turn this thing pretty easy. Alright, that looks good. That's a nice little probe. And then we need another coupling, 12 decoupler. And a payload fairing. Everything fits in there, and then auto strut. Forgot there's already a fairing on that one. How's everything look? Let's see. Kerbin. Thrust to weight ratio is good. Plenty of delta V. All right. I feel pretty good about this one. Yeah, this will give me my first basic landing on Minmus, and I can launch it right now. So that's what I'm going to do. What's up, man? Just getting ready to do my flight to first flight to Minmus, which is one of the little moons of this planet of Kerbin. And we're going to go ahead and get the launch. I'm going to do quick. I'm actually going to save here real fast and then launch this bad boy. Oh, you know what? Staging is wrong on this. I'm glad I looked. You should always check your staging before you launch, instead of doing it like I'm doing, which is in the middle of a damn launch. But you know, it all worked out fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. There we go. Stage the boosters. We're going to hit the... We probably are going to end up... I haven't figured out whether I'm going to end up deploying the fairing yet or not before I stage for the next... for the second stage or third stage. Depends on how you consider the Soyuz to be staged. I think they call this the third stage. And I'm going for just as high as an orbit as I can get. If I get out of the atmosphere with this first central core, that's fine. Let's go as high as it'll take me. All right. That'll work. I'm going to start burning right now, it would appear. Probably could have stood to set a little bit higher. But the good news is this thing's got plenty of fuel. We should be able to get into a transfer extend the solar panels, and extend the antenna. We should be able to easily get into a transfer or complete the transfer without any using any fuel on the lander. And in fact, we might be able to do the landing burn, the deorbit burn at Minmus without using any fuel on the lander, which would be nice. And then just do the final little last dab of touchdown using the lander's engine. If we can do so, even better, because I've got, according to this, I've got 6,200 meters per second of delta V, so I don't have to worry too much. Also means we can be kind of stupid and efficient with our hopping around and transfers and all that stuff. So no real worries about that. In fact, this mission's probably more expensive than it needs to be in terms of how much fuel I'm carrying and the mass of my craft and things like that. But all right, cool. A little bit low or a little bit wobbly orbit than I probably I prefer to have, but that's okay. We'll set this as a target, and then come on. Add maneuver. And we're just trying to get an encounter, the beginnings of an encounter with Minmus. Oh, I saw, there we go. There we go, we got an encounter. So I'm just going to go ahead and burn for Minmus using this encounter. It's not actually as efficient as I would, well, it's reasonably efficient. It's not exactly the place I want to be, but I just want to get the encounter, and then we'll do a mid-course correction, which will actually be more efficient in delta V usage. Come on, just line up. Quit fighting me. I'm glad I put that extra reaction wheel on here, otherwise this wouldn't be a real problem. And technically this is not very realistic. You can't do what reaction wheels do in this game, but that's somebody else's problem. Ready to burn for Minmus. 2, 1, burn. Drifting off my target a little bit. But the actual accuracy of this burn is not critical because we are going to correct it no matter what. There we go. Do a maneuver there. We're going to see where we end up. So what I want to do is actually... Why is it not... There we go. Put the maneuver in the wrong place. So what I'm actually going to do is set my initial encounter for a collision with Minmus. That way I can get rid of that stage that I don't need. we just want to be just below. And then we'll use the what I thought was going to be the transfer stage as a to make the final correction and to do an orbital insertion and all that good stuff. And actually, I think I can pick up the other contract too. I do this right. Try and be as precise as possible with this. Because at this point, even small deviations can cause huge changes in where we want to be. All right. So I will stage, pointing in a random direction. Get that to spin out of the way, hopefully, and then, yeah, actually, it just that ejection force caused enough of a change in velocity to give me a different trajectory. All right, so what I want to do is get my actually I want to get my trajectory to moving parts experts group. I want to intersect this purple line. Yeah, whatever the whatever it's asking me to do, either one will work on this. So I just want it to like touch this orbital line. There we go. And that's, yeah, 0.8 meters per second. A tiny adjustment. Yep. More than I wanted. That's the problem, is like this, the difference is minuscule. But I can make it. That's close enough. And then if we do this right about here, or no, do it here, and start adjusting, do my capture burn here. And get pretty close. Or wait, am I looking at the wrong? Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. I can get my apoapsis similar. And then, yeah, I can make adjustments from there. But that will let me kill two birds with one stone. So that's cool. How much Delta V do I have? 2,300. Oh, yeah. Jeez. I can actually probably flip my orbit. I got enough Delta V to flip my orbit and get the other one, too. Although I don't know if that will count or not. I think I can still complete the same mission with, or different missions with the same craft. Alright, so we'll warp down. Oh, why are you not? There we go. I'm a little off. For some reason, the burn didn't start when I hit the... Oh, well. I mean, I overshot, and then my burn didn't start on time, so when I hit the button, so we're kind of double effed, but that's okay. In this case, I've got so much extra fuel that it doesn't matter. I can pretty much... I can screw around a lot and still... achieve my objective. So let's see. That's about... Yeah, so I'm going to be here. Adjust the inclination a bit. No, that's too much. All right. And let's get set up for that. Maneuver. Let's see, time warp in. Oh, oh. I made him control locked. Get my periapsis up. Make some minor changes there, and that looks pretty good. And then we'll adjust the ascending node once I get there. Urgh. You tried to watch the season premiere of Westworld and immediately fell asleep. Actually, I completely forgot there was a new one. I'm probably going to watch it after I'm done with this. Which is funny because I was so obsessed with that show. But I got so busy lately, I completely forgot. Like, I wasn't on top of it. I can't believe I didn't actually get around to watching it yesterday. Oh, hell. I way overshot my maneuver node. Sorry, I'm adjusting maneuver notes. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't watch it. I will definitely enjoy it because I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of that first season, and I don't know why. Probably there's so much stuff coming out too. Infinity War, Solo. What else was I looking forward to? Well, I haven't seen Ready Player One yet, which I'm kind of iffy on, but but probably will see it. It does seem like something that needs to be seen in the theater before it gets too late. In fact, I may go see it tomorrow. Okay, completed that one. Hi, Snookums. Oh, come here. Oh, yeah, Deadpool 2. When does Deadpool 2 come out? I know it's soon, but it's like, God, there's just a lot of stuff coming out this summer. I feel overwhelmed. Explore the Mun. Dock 2 vessels near the Mun. That's cool. So May. Okay. So May 18th. All right. I said it before you typed it, so I remembered. Oh, Snookum, stop it! Quit rubbing the microphone. I'll squish your face. Okay, let's see if this works. Delta V is going to take to flip us around. Oh, is that it? Really? All right, cool. Yeah, might as well do this while I'm up here. I got enough time to do this and complete my Minmus landing on one mission. So that'll be awesome. Hopefully that works. Yeah, I can hear it too. I mean, I can hear in the microphone. Yeah, she's really intently purring. Aren't you? Yeah. We completely flip our orbit. And then some additional adjustments here. I don't mind to hear you snooking. I don't mind hearing you purring. I just wish you wouldn't rub your face on the microphone. It'll make it easy. You know, the thing about having a cat is, like, I get, especially this one, I can sit for hours on the couch downstairs doing nothing. Like, just completely without any, like, plan, just watching a movie or something like that, and she'll ignore me for the entire time. But as soon as I come up here and start doing something, then she demands attention. Yeah. I complete that one too. Awesome. Save. Go to the Space Center. I didn't plan on doing these extra missions while I was on here, but now that since I have the option. All right. Actually, I want that MUN satellite contract. All right, tracking station. And now the question is, can you hear her licking my arm? So gross. Snookums, you're so gross. It hurts. You're hurting me. It hurts my arm. Ow. You little shithead. Oh, you're making such a noise. I feel like I'm hurting you. Do our Minmus landing here. All right, and then surface. Should be coming in almost perfectly straight. So I could technically, I think, use a lot more temperature scan in space while near Minmus. Log temperature. Log pressure. Get one of these. Select all. Awesome. So I could probably actually... I'm going to see if this works. If I can get this thing to stay upright without landing... I should have put landing legs on this thing because I actually have enough... So much fuel. That I can easily... do quite a few hops. I want to land on these flats. It will be much easier. Greater flats. Okay. Hey, I did it. All right. Is there a materials bay? Is there mystery goo? Log pressure data. Log temperature. Collect all. Save. And then if I do this right, I should be able to tag off and go to the lowlands. Just get 2 biomes in this first. This is why Minmus is so great for collecting sciences. It's just so so forgiving. So I've gotten two biomes. And I still haven't actually deployed the lander yet. So for pressure scan, 42 science. We're doing battery power. That's what I really want to see. All right, cool. Temperature scan. And we're just transmitting everything, basically. Cool. All right. We sent a lot of science back. Got a milestone. Science data from the surface of Minmus. So I actually have a space flight measuring temperatures in space flight. And so what I'm actually going to do is save first. And then enter a polar orbit. So that way I can cross over all of these things using, and I can use the thermometer on that. And this will also give me, right now, a polar relay satellite. So useful for later. And I don't have to, and I still have this lander if I want to go collect science from elsewhere, which would be nice. I will be able to use this to collect science for my eventual base as like a little mobile lab. So that's cool. I actually got a lot of work done with one probe, which is cool because that means I didn't waste money, which is actually important. All right. What is it, 10 o'clock? Yeah, so I think that's good. I've achieved quite a bit of science stuff. I am going to go back to the Space Center. I'm going to see exactly how much I returned with. I still don't think I have enough to unlock some of the other things that I wanted, but and did that. Oop, that's not what I want. You know, 301 science. So actually I have just enough science to get something. Either specialized control, advanced landing, composites. Well, that's helpful, but not really what I need. Advanced metalworks, large volume containment. Nuclear propulsion. Well, that would be nice, but I don't really need that right now. I kind of want unmanned tech. Advanced unmanned tech. Yeah. I think that's probably good, but I'm going to wait till next time to do that. So, yeah, that's it. I accomplished quite a few missions. It didn't go exactly the way I planned, but most everything came out good. I've still got a couple more rescues to do, which I'm going to do off stream because they're kind of boring once you've done them once. Although there was one I probably should have done on stream because it was a really weird orbit, but I had to actually grab them out of orbit on that one final orbit because they were going to encounter the Mun and get slingshotted out of the Kerbin system. So that would have been a real problem. So yeah, I have accomplished everything I want to do. So I think that's it for tonight. I'm going to go do some work. Thanks for watching. Bye.